You're watching ABC7 News at 6.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis.
And I'm Jacqueline Matter. Thanks for joining us.
Topping our news every day, 115 Americans die from an opioid overdose. This national crisis reaches every community, including ours.
Tonight, a Raycom Media national investigation uncovers doctors prescribing high amounts of opioids, in some cases killing their patients. Here's investigative reporter Lee Zurich with License to Pill.
Nestled in the foothills of Tennessee, a gravel parking lot lined with cars representing the big business this small town attracts.
Basically, it's legalized dope.
A doctor pumping out millions of pills every year.
I know I'm mad and I'm sorry.
A twisted form of medical tourism, luring patients from all over the Southeast, rattling this small Rocky Top town.
This is awful. This is drug dealing. Not medical care.
Under the Medicare prescription program, Dr. Mark Murphy prescribes more opioids than any other medical professional in the country.
Is he coming in today?
And when we showed up at his Lewisburg, Tennessee office,
Cut that off now.
an employee chased us across the street and refused to answer any questions.
If he's not here, who's writing his prescriptions?
The police chief wants the doctor and his pill seekers out of his town.
Do you think it's a pill mill?
I believe it is.
You do?
I do.
Why?
Well, not even being a police officer, I'm just common sense. But when we're seeing that volume of traffic from Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia in one place, it's quite unusual.
Dr. Murphy has a checkered past. The state of Alabama accused him of over-prescribing opioids. He let his Alabama license expire and now solely works out of Tennessee. A Raycom Media national investigation examined the country's highest prescribers of opioids and found many doctors like Mark Murphy handing out these powerful pills at alarming rates. Over a 3-year span, the top 1,000 prescribing medical professionals wrote more than 14 million prescriptions for less than 2 million elderly and disabled patients enrolled in the Medicare prescription program.
One has to question whether or not they are really drug dealers in white coats. I don't think they could be prescribing in those quantities and not realize that they're harming people.
We did a background check on all of the top 1,000 prescribers and found 95 have been sanctioned for inappropriately prescribing medicine. 22 either face criminal charges or have been convicted. Earlier this year, a grand jury in Texas indicted Dr. Howard Diamond for killing more than 20 patients, including Allison Holly's mother. In 2001, Holly's mother suffered nerve damage in a car accident, but for nearly 11 years, she functioned quite well, holding down 3 jobs at the same time, doing hard work, a waitress, cosmetologist, and on weekends cleaning cabins at the lake.
What led her to start taking opioids?
I guess it had a lot to do with her putting so much trust into her doctor. Diamond told her she needed them.
In the summer of 2014, Holly's mother died of an opioid overdose. At the age of 16, Holly briefly quit school. A struggling teenager left without a mother because the government says Diamond unnecessarily prescribed opioids.
Just certain things that I wish that I could talk to my mother about still today, because you know she's my mom, and I was robbed of that.
You were robbed of your mother by this doctor.
Yeah.
A map of the top 1,000 prescribers shows a crisis for the Southeast. Mark Murphy's office in Lewisburg, Tennessee, with a population of 12,000, may be the epicenter. On our trip to Lewisburg, a few cars pulled into the lot 30 minutes before the office opened, in line just after dawn, waiting for a doctor licensed to pill.
Since our reporting in early February, additional providers have been sanctioned. It's important to point out many of the top 1,000 providers prescribe opioids for reasons experts call legitimate, like end-of-life, cancer, or short-term pain issues.
Sarasota County schools are taking several actions in hopes of improving safety and security following last week's tragic mass shooting in Broward County. Today, the school board called an emergency executive session to brainstorm ways to better safety and security. The district also putting out a call to parents and students for their feedback on solutions. All of this while school board chairwoman Bridget Ziegler and principal of the year Dr. Rachel Shelley head to Tallahassee to be a part of a school safety task force headed by Governor Rick Scott.
What I think is encouraging is that local leaders around the state are having these similar conversations like we are here in Sarasota County, and then filtering that back up to the state level. Those are the things that I think you'll be able to see immediate action.
If you'd like to provide your own feedback on safety and security in Sarasota County schools, there's a link on our website at mysuncoast.com.
A record-setting day on the Suncoast. Let's get more on that now with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan and our First Alert weather.
Yeah, maybe more to come too the rest of this week, at least for the next several days. 87 today at the Sarasota Bradenton Airport. The old mark was 86 set back in 1990. Our normal high 74, well above average. Now, with high pressure located just to the east of the area and also in the upper levels of the atmosphere, it's really giving us that southeasterly wind component, and that large area of high pressure isn't going anywhere. It's going to actually get a little stronger, and we could get more of a southerly wind flow, it looks like, as we move on into Tuesday and Wednesday. That will warm things up into the upper 80s, it looks like, once again in our interior counties especially, and not much of a chance of getting any kind of significant rainfall. There are a few showers around due to the daytime heating. A little sea breeze has kicked in, so it's cooled things near the coast just a little bit, 75 degrees, but still pleasant out there. The barometer 30.23, and that continues to rise just in the last hour. And as far as the planner goes through this evening, not bad. 71 by 11 o'clock. More on our work week forecast, and we'll take a peek at the weekend coming up as well in just a few minutes. Back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. Suncoast Congressman Tom Rooney has announced he will not run for re-election. The U.S. representative shared his statement on Twitter today. He's comparing his time in Congress to his old football days and says it's time to hang him up after 10 years in Congress. Rooney represents the southern half of Sarasota County. Congressman Rooney is scheduled to speak in Nokomis tomorrow in an event hosted by Englewood Indivisible. The visit is set to take place at the Nokomis Community Center starting at 6 p.m.
A major downtown Venice construction project has hit a major roadblock.
Prospective contractors telling the city it's going to cost far more than the city is ready to spend. ABC7's Christopher Bradley is live tonight in Venice with more on the story. Christopher?
Well, good evening, guys. The city of Venice hopes to tear up much of downtown's roads and sidewalks, but the money they've budgeted to do that is actually quite a bit less than what local construction companies say it's really going to cost. The city of Venice originally budgeted around $6 million for a project that would replace downtown streets and sidewalks. But when the project went out to bid, the lowest amount came back at over $10 million.
Well, they're a little higher than we'd like to see them. I think it's feasible, but we're going to have to look at what the needs are versus the wants.
Over the last few months, more and more has been added to the scope of work, but money hasn't been. Kathleen Whedon is Venice's city engineer.
City Council requested we look at what it would cost to do the upgrade all the electrical in the median. That was not in the original budget estimate.
When you factor in all funding sources, the city's budget really stands at about $8.4 million. That's still over $2 million away from the lowest bid.
$8.4 million is what we have between the two granting agencies, the 1-cent sales tax and the road bond.
If the project has to be rebid to construction companies, that could take 40 days. That would throw off the project's tight deadline of being complete before the end of this upcoming November.
It's critical that, in season, that our businesses on the avenues are operational. Any delays like that would creep right into next year's season.
And the City Council will be presented in their next council meeting with a list of options. That meeting is coming up a week from tomorrow. They could, in theory, start removing things from the project list, or they could increase the funding. Live in Venice, Christopher Brantley, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Okay, Christopher, thanks so much. Still to come in your Suncoast News, drivers should get ready to see more construction in Sarasota County.
The improvements you can expect to see along Bee Ridge Road.
A decade of war has taken an unprecedented toll on our men and women in uniform.
Hundreds of thousands of our veterans are suffering from the trauma of war.
At Justice for Vets, we believe that every veteran should have the opportunity for treatment and restoration.
Get involved and go to justiceforvets.org.
Help put treatment within reach of veterans in crisis.
Veterans fought for our freedom. Now it's our turn to fight for theirs.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Sarasota Opera's 2018 Winter Opera Festival is here, featuring Puccini's Manon Lescaut, Bizet's Carmen, Bellini's Norma, and D'Albert's rarely heard Tieflant. For more information, go to sarasotaopera.org.
Thousands of award-winning Honda SUVs are on sale from $189 a month during the Honda President's Day sales event. You've got to see these SUVs. Get a surprisingly spacious 2018 HR-V, $189 a month, or step up to Pilot for $289 a month with available seating for 8. Plus, we have Motor Trend's SUV of the Year, the 2018 CR-V, and Ridgeline, a car and driver's 10 best. All on sale for up to $3,805 less than the competition at your local Honda dealer.
That is a pretty good breakfast. You're not even eating.
Not hungry.
No? Why not? What's up?
Kath and I knew that Jenny'd been partying a bit. Found out she tried heroin.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
Are you a food lover, restaurant goer, or home cook? Then check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, and helpful step-by-step videos. And you'll love the restaurant guide with direct links to your favorite Suncoast eateries. Whether you're cooking in or dining out, whet your appetite with tasty tips from Chef Judy at mysuncoast.com/dining.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Business owners along Bee Ridge Road are starting to get a little relief and a little more business now that roadway improvements are complete. But starting this March, Bee Ridge Road will see even more construction. The stretch of roadway from Bond Place to Cattleman Road will see everything from roadway resurfacing to drainage improvements, a project many shop owners are hoping does not affect other businesses in the process.
Unless they're going to move it to nighttime, there's really not a lot we can do as a business owner. You have to just deal with it.
The project will cost roughly $3.4 million. The estimated time of completion will be fall of this year. Drivers should expect nighttime lane closures while crews are working.
Students in the Florida Keys are still dealing with the aftermath of Hurricane Irma nearly 6 months later. School officials in the Keys say more students are taking advantage of free and reduced meals since the storm. According to the local newspaper, The Keynoter, the Monroe County School District is dealing with a $400 a day deficit in its free and reduced meal program. 59% of all students are on the federal meals program now. Before the storm, that figure was in the 30s.
Well, stay with us. Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your first alert weather forecast for the week ahead.
Motor Trend said the new Alfa Romeo Giulia is hands down the best sports sedan you can buy today. And named it the 2018 Motor Trend Car of the Year. Rediscover your passion for driving at Sunset Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad, and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Everybody can make something.
because I think everyone has a spark of creativity, and the reason that I have to keep making is because I don't think my life would be as fulfilling without it. If you make things yourself, that means you're not cowering in fear. You're out there taking chances. That, I think, is my way of saying I love you to the world. All right, now I want to hear why you make.
Share your own Why I Make story today. Visit whyimake.org.
What to expect when you're expecting a teenager.
Today we're talking about how to wake up your teen, and this works literally every time.
Give kisses. Good kisses. You heard how loud
I heard. It wasn't you. Yeah. It was the...
Is that bacon?
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Serving part-time as a soldier in the Army National Guard can give you a head start on your career. Gain practical experience with technology and equipment to get an edge in the civilian world. Learn about the paid training and career opportunities available to you at NationalGuard.com.
When evaluating the Alfa Romeo Stelvio, Car and Driver magazine said every crossover should be this good to drive. We agree. Rediscover your passion for driving at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Well, I guess this is the week to make sure your air conditioning's working.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right. It's cranking out right now. I'll tell you, we have had warm temperatures, 87 degrees. That was a record. We talked about that. Beautiful weather over the weekend, though. We had Thunder by the Bay, and also the Pirates pep rally taking place. Had some photos sent in from Mary Colwell. This one of the stage right there. ABC7 was a proud sponsor of the event. You see Clint Hurdle right there in the yellow standing right next to me, and hoping for a great season. He said it all begins in Bradenton. We'll see how it turns out. Hopefully the Pirates will get back into the World Series and win one. We hope so anyway. A lot of folks out there hoping, and there's some nice kids there that showed up as well. I got a photo snapshot, and they sent this picture in, or at least someone did, and said thanks for stopping by and getting some pictures taken, Bob, as well. We had viewer photos. Look at this. These are two ospreys atop our tower right here in downtown Sarasota getting together. Marianne getting this off our website at mysuncoast.com and getting that picture. And Barb Wilson in Venice showing some clouds with a little bit of rain, a little bit of moisture in them. But due to the daytime heating today, we could use some rain to clear up the atmosphere. The pollen count remains high, and it's going to stay that way too throughout this week. 9.9 today. To Tuesday's forecast is high. The top allergens: oak, juniper, and grasses. Well, a lot of rain falling in Ohio and northern Ohio, into also northern Indiana and Illinois tonight, and into southern Michigan, where there are numerous weather watches and warnings out. These are all flood advisories taking place right there throughout that region. Winter weather advisory into the upper Mississippi Valley. Winter storm warnings across the northern plains and into the northern Rockies. As I mentioned, that flood watch across all of the northern portions of Indiana, Illinois, and Ohio, and southern Michigan. For us, a few brief showers possible this evening, but mainly inland, not much moisture around. Some showers well offshore of Venice and Inglewood now, and that's basically due to that southeasterly wind flow, and temperatures warming into the mid to upper 80s today. You can see the Van Wezel webcam showing pretty calm conditions out there on the bay, and lots of sunshine in the mix this afternoon. It looks as though we will see fair skies through tonight. Just a few clouds around. I do point out at 68. We have a southwest wind at 8, and that wind will eventually turn back around to an easterly direction later on tonight. There it is, 87 the high. 86 the old record set back in 1990. The futurecast is continuing to show the southeast to east wind around the periphery of the high pressure ridge, which stays anchored firmly across the area. Now, once in a while, a shower possible in the inland counties. Here comes a big front. Severe weather possible into Arkansas, Texas, and northern Louisiana over the next 36 hours. But for us, we remain high and dry and warm across much of the southern plains, into the southeast, even into the northeast. These are the current temperatures, single digits in Billings at 3. Kansas City 42, that's the high tomorrow. 23 in Minneapolis and 59 in Chicago. As far as the long-range model goes, you can see that cold air staying well to the west and north of us as we're under this ridge of high pressure. It starts to slip a little bit in, but that doesn't happen until next week, Thursday and into Friday. We'll start to get back maybe to some more seasonal temperatures for this time of year. East winds turn to the south, and they'll lessen up somewhat in the afternoon to 5 knots. Seas running 1 to 2 feet with a light chop out there. The water temperature now at 73 degrees, and that's well above average too. Beaches will see a high right around 80 degrees. And as far as the forecast goes for tonight, generally fair. Some patchy fog possible, mainly inland, and the extended forecast looks like this as we see it. Temperatures staying near record breaking right through Thursday, maybe just a couple degrees cooler on Friday. We'll get a 20% chance for a shower late Saturday night, and into Sunday. Still looks good, low 80s then. But until then, temperatures will stay into the mid 80s to even some upper 80s east of I-75. Linda?
Coming up, we'll take you to a place where you'll always look better when you walk out than when you walk in, and you can take a stroll back in history.
Tonight, the Russia investigation heats up after the new indictments. How President Trump is now responding. What's Special Counsel Robert Mueller's next move? Will there be more indictments? Turn to World News Tonight with David Muir, America's most watched newscast.
My goal every day when I come into work at ABC7 is to tell your stories, give you that major local news and those details that you really care about. I'm Jacqueline Matter, and I'm here for you.
My name is Stefan Campagna. We're Ben Gates and Dramus, and here is your law tip of the week. If you've been injured in a car accident, the state of Florida only gives you a specific amount of time to file a claim. So act now, give us a call.
SRQ Performance Parts provides parts and accessories from over 300 manufacturers, so you can get that new manifold, carburetor, gasket, bolt kit, or nitrous oxide system fast. We'll help you beat the competition. Call or visit SRQ Performance Parts online today for all your high-performance parts and advice.
It's time to take a road trip.
Alabama's got 100 road trips, and some of the best are music to your ears, like the Alabama Music Hall of Fame. Or head over to Muscle Shoals and Fame Studios. Are you a star yet?
My mama thinks so.
Or, if that's your stomach I hear grumbling, our barbecue is almost a religious experience. Food good here?
Best in the country.
Alabama's got 100 road trips.
Which one you gonna take?
Head over to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota, where you'll always get better prices and a bigger selection. Like the area's largest selection of 7-passenger vehicles. Get KBB's 2017 Best Buy Award overall winner, the Chrysler Pacifica, for just $25,999. Or load up the family in your new Dodge Grand Caravan for just $20,999. Drive away in a new Dodge Journey for as little as $17,999. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Letting my friends online know I was quitting kept me on track.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
I kept on trying, learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
We did it. You can too.
For free help, visit cdc.gov/tips.
Most communities have a hub, a gathering place where you can always find out what's going on and who's doing what.
As we celebrate Black History Month, ABC7's Linda Carson takes us to one of those places in Newtown where the beauty takes second place only to community service.
Jetson's Creative Trends has been a gathering place for the community for almost 4 decades. At 19, salon owner Jetson Grimes started his career right across the street.
I started out as a barber. I worked as a barber probably for 15 years. And then I saw the profession changing into ladies, and I went back to school and retrained to do ladies' hair.
A life-changing decision.
My biggest paycheck was $200 as a barber.
Oh, for
a week, right. And I went from $200 to $2,000 a week when I started doing ladies' hair.
He saved his money and opened his own salon in 1979.
38 years. In July, hopefully we'll be here for 39 years. So it's been quite an experience being here for that long.
Jetson has spent his life in Newtown working for the people of Newtown. This is his graduating class. During those days of segregation, Newtown was booming.
We couldn't spend a lot of money outside the community. So money was able to circulate 8 or 9, 10 times in the community. And I always talk about how many businesses that we had in the community during that period. We had over 70-some businesses during that period.
Immigration came and people took their business outside the community. But Jetson Salon thrived and became a community hub.
I call it the information center. People, you know, have my clients come in and they share information with me. So it's been a location that a lot of people have been able to participate in, you know, bring a lot of ideas and be able to share them, and hopefully for the benefit of the community.
And as business in other African American communities died, Newtown residents stood strong.
That's why I'm so proud of Newtown. We just didn't sit back and let that happen to us. We kind of say, okay, we're going to retain this community. We're going to try to retain our business district. We're going to try to retain our churches. We're going to retain our schools.
And Newtown survived.
We are probably one of the only 4 in the state of Florida that still have a business community.
Jetson says Newtown is a great place to call home.
Every day, every night, I have to ride through my beautiful city and say, okay, it's still here. And I tell everybody, I say, you know, we're still here. And the people are just so fantastic.
And he says his community is on the brink of an explosion into a new prosperity. And if you'd like to know more about Newtown's history, you can come to Jetson's, and right next door, there's a gallery depicting the history of this community. Linda Carson, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Such a nice man who,
I know,
who's done so much for that community and continues to do for the future of that community in Sarasota. And Bob, we are all complaining. I guess some of us are complaining if you live here throughout the summer.
Right.
Because it feels like summer's already here.
Yeah, I know.
Visitors probably like it, though.
And some of the plants may be thinking that, too, you know, because, you know, a couple of days the plants don't understand it. But, you know, if it goes for 8 days, 10 days, they think, well, maybe it is getting close to late spring. It seems like that way. Beautiful sunset tonight. This is from Casey Key. And, again, looks like flat, calm conditions out there for boaters. I know they're liking it. Not much of a problem as far as boating goes. And you see a few showers well off in the distance there. And that's the result of the daytime heating. But there it goes. It goes on and on. 80s all the way through the next 7 days.
Wow.
Okay. Bob, thank you. World News Tonight with David Muir is coming up next.
We'll see you again at 11. Have a good night.